The polls in Missouri open 8 hours from now, with early voting wrapping up in just a few hours ago. This is 5 on your side at 10. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Election officials are expecting the highest turnout for a primary in more than 20 years, with statewide amendments driving up those numbers. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski. She's in studio with a look at St. Louis County's early voting numbers.
Mike and Kelly, the early voting numbers for St. Louis County are more than double what they were in 2024, with more than 7,000 coming from the Daniel Boone Library branch. And so far, about 73% of voters requested a Democratic ballot and 20% a Republican ballot. Missouri Secretary of State Denny Hoskins expects up to 1.4 million voters for the August primary, roughly 32% of registered voters. Early voting is up across St. Louis City and County, and St. Charles County Election Director Kurt Barr says their early numbers point to a 40% total turnout.
We're at almost 6% voter turnout, which is high when you consider that we have almost 300,000 voters. That's about 17,000 voters have come in to vote over the course of the 6 weeks, but most of it has been our last 2 weeks of absentee voting.
No matter when or where you vote, you'll need to bring your photo ID. That can be a valid driver's license, a non-driver's license, a military ID, or a passport. Rick Stream with the St. Louis County Board of Elections has a tip to make your trip to the polls even easier.
So if people bring their notice of election card with the sample ballot to the polling place filled out, then they go through very quickly. It makes the process. Our goal is to make the voting process very uneventful and boring.
In St. Charles County, you have to go to your assigned polling place to cast your ballot. But Ben Borgmeyer with the City Board of Elections says St. Louis City doesn't have restrictions.
If you're a city voter, it doesn't matter where you live. As long as you're a city registered voter, you can vote at any city polling place.
And the same goes for St. Louis County. But what's getting more people to the polls? Election officials say it's not just the candidates.
Anytime there's a big ballot measure, whether it's the initiative petition or something from the legislature like amendments 4 and 5 are, with the August primary, we see that there's definitely an increase in voter turnout. The other thing that we've noticed is a number of people who are asking for the nonpartisan ballot, which doesn't have any candidates on it. It only has those ballot measures.
Polls open at 6 a.m. and close at 7 p.m. If you recently moved to a different county but are still a registered voter in Missouri, you can go directly to your new county's Board of Elections office, and they can help you vote there and even change your address.
And before heading to the polls tomorrow morning, check out our voter guide on ksdk.com. We have all the information you need to know about how to vote, along with the candidates and issues on your ballot. Text the word guide to 314-425-5355. We'll send you a link.
Once the polls close tomorrow night at 7, you can join us on our streaming app for our extended Decision 2026 coverage of the Missouri primary. Ann Allred and our political editor Mark Maxwell will have all the latest results, reaction, and analysis. And then Kelly and I will continue our coverage on 5 on your side at 10.